Now this I like. With the 143rd overall pick in the NHL Draft, the Detroit Red Wings have selected Beckham Edwards out of the Sarnia Sting in the OHL. Now the reason I like this is because this might be one of the highest value pickups that could have been made at this stage of the NHL Draft in 2026. Edwards goes 143 to Detroit, but his consolidated ranking was 78. Tony Ferrari of the Hockey News had him at 69. Ryan Kennedy had him at 65. McQueen's were a little lower, but they had him at 87. And Daily Faceoff had him at 111. This is a guy that, by all accounts, should have been drafted so much earlier in 2026, but the Red Wings got him at 143. Beckham Edwards last season for Sarnia had 45 points in 64 games played, 19 goals, 26 assists as a 6'1", 187-pound left-handed center at 18 years old. The Elite Prospects Scouting Report Draft Guide gives some very high praise to Beckham Edwards, calling him a C-grade prospect. He actually had some higher draft pedigree in earlier parts of his hockey-playing career, as noted by his rankings in the OHL in previous seasons, etc., etc., etc. But the EP Draft Guide says the former top prospect Beckham Edwards had a tough year offensively, but still fleshed out his two-way game while flashing the shot that made him so effective. He is a 4 out of 10 for puck handling, 5 out of 10 for shooting, skating, and physical game, and 4.5 on hockey sense and passing. Coming into the season, Beckham Edwards received a C grade from the Elite Prospects staff. They anticipated that his shot and motor would make him one of the better two-way forwards in the O, but he never fully took off, instead continuing to profile mostly as a supportive two-way piece for Sarnia, as he did in his draft -1 year. However, Edwards' style of game still has NHL value, and there are some abilities in his game that could lead to a breakout down the line. He is disruptive and relentless, as Edwards pressures the opposition into mistakes, backtracking ahead of the play, closing passing lanes, and sticking to the heels of opponents, giving his defensemen time to close on them. He applies the same level of energy to his forecheck and always looks to drive inside to support plays, pushing back defenders and going to the net. He attacks loose pucks, digs them from the wall, and takes advantage of the chaos he generates, firing heavy wristers off of interceptions. A lack of playmaking touch, especially in transition, tanked Edwards' play-driving results this year. While he did have some performances where he found teammates in the middle, giving them runways to attack, he struggled to create scoring chances, instead relying on his checking game to generate them. He has a strong off-the-catch shot and a knack for getting open, but without the ability to get the play moving, he seldom got the back in prime locations. To improve his status as an NHL prospect, Edwards will have to develop his playmaking side a lot more, on top of adding more dynamic qualities. If he can't make those transformations to his game, he risks getting lost in the typical organizational shuffle of prospects. So a pretty fair and relatively stable look at what Beckham Edwards could provide as more of a two-way game plus disruptive and relentless energy. Those are two words that I like to see when talking about guys that work hard. So for Beckham Edwards, Detroit's latest 143rd overall draft pick, a guy that was supposed to go a lot earlier, I think this is a pretty alright move, especially since he is going over to the University of Notre Dame next season. He'll have some time to flesh out his stock as a prospect in the NCAA. But for now, you can let me know your thoughts in the comments. How do you feel about Beckham Edwards as a Detroit Red Wings prospect? I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.